If you think that iPad Air is a budget iPad Pro, well, Apple is hiding its real secret. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. My name is Aditya Kumar, and today I have a very exciting video, one that you must wait till the end. Well, it's the mid of 2026, almost 7 months in, and we're just 2 months away from Apple's keynote, which is going to be super exciting. And it was my birthday about 10 days ago. Now, of course, I'm due for an upgrade for the Apple Watch, and I'm also due to possibly upgrade the phone, although I love my iPhone 13 Pro Max. But my dear wife took me to the Apple store, and I realized that I don't have a tablet of my own. And this was the time that I realized that Apple has shot up their prices in India by about 15,000-20,000 rupees, depending on the device that you obviously are looking for. Looking at the current rate of the iPad Air M4, the 128 gig is shot up to 89,000, like many of you might know. And so I was not really keen on spending that much because I knew the Pro was at 99,000 and now it's moved to 1,20,000. So you might be wondering why I went in for the iPad Air M3 in 2026 when again we have the Apple keynote WWDC happening in about 2 months' time. But let me tell you guys, this year Apple has already launched their recent chipset models about 2-3 months ago. I was not too sure how convinced I was to have paid that extra 24,000 for me because I was looking at the base gig version. So I quickly happened to check with them if they have the M3 model, which had the old price, and luckily they had one piece left, this beauty. It's 11-inch tab, which really appealed to me because I got this for just 60,000 rupees for a 128 gig. If you ask me, it's really bizarre how those prices have gone up, but I do understand there is chip shortage and whatnot that's drove Apple to increase these prices. But today's video is not about that. Today's video is about what I got for my birthday as my wife's gift and why I chose this particular model. As you may know, the previous video you must have already watched my iPad review, but that was of iPad A16 Bionic, the blue one. And this is my new iPad. As you can see, given a clue, ladies and gentlemen, this is my new iPad Air M3. This new iPad Air M3, when I say new, it's new to me, sits right in the middle of Apple's confusing hidden lineup. And so today we're going to really find out, by skipping all the boring spec stuff, we're going to really find out how it is to live with the iPad Air M3 in 2026 with real life stuff like the battery life, the gaming performance if you do play games, and the editing capabilities on this lovely tablet of mine. So let's get straight to the video. Now, to be very honest with you, a lot of people have replaced the iPad, either the Pro or the Air, with their Macs. And to be honest, I don't think I bought this for that, guys. I bought this as a standalone unit or to use it as a secondary screen for my Mac. And that is one of the most helpful features that I've seen in the recent past. A lot of people actually using it as a second screen or working on one particular task on the Mac and having a secondary one on the iPad. So that is something I've really tried and really enjoyed, especially if you're a person who edits your own videos like me. Final Cut works amazingly well and smooth. When you have one project that you're working on the Mac and then you have something else running side by side, it is so convenient just to move the cursor and ensure, thanks to the continuity feature that it has. A quick thing for you guys to note is that the Air, of course, doesn't come with the ProMotion display like the iPad Pro. Why? Not too sure, but hey, that's exactly why both of them are differentiated as the Air and the Pro models, and I believe it's about 40,000, 50,000 rupees more. Now, even though the iPad Air does not come with a ProMotion and 120Hz refresh rate, it comes with a fantastic OLED Liquid Retina display. It is amazingly sharp, beautiful to look at, pleasing to the eye. It does come with a 60Hz refresh rate, which is just fantastic. And to be honest, when I compared this to the A16, there is visible difference, even though both share a 60Hz refresh rate. So the brightness on this one is about 600 nits. And in sunlight, it does the job supremely well because when you're obviously not going to be sitting all the time, indoors. And when you take this out, it really, sort of focuses and helps you uh, stay up to date and visible with apps like whatever I have on my home screen, for example. Everything is so easily accessible and pleasing to the eye. So, how fast is the Apple iPad Air M3? It is super fast and it's lightning fast. So when you actually keep the M3 and M4 in, side by side, you won't see a visible difference unless you're very focused on what exactly you're looking for. So when it comes to performance, it's lightning fast. It gives you pro level performance, to be very frank with you, and it is so nice to actually see liquid glass and how it functions on the iPad, and so convenient to carry around, isn't it? At the end of the day, you want something that you can take away from home. Of course, the laptop is slightly heavier, compared to the MacBook Air. So this one is actually so convenient for me to just step out and use it on everyday basis when it comes to accessing files, or reading out my mails, or whatever I want to do. So that way I'm super convinced and super happy that I went in for this investment, because I think it's just out of the world. And I was so convinced that I needed an iPad only after I used my dad's iPad. So this buy and purchase of mine has been absolutely worth every single buck. Although it is amazing, I would really say that there are certain drawbacks, but are not very big drawbacks if you ask me, right? Because I'm at the end of the day a big Apple fanboy. But if you ask me what exactly is the difference between the M3 iPad Air and the M4 Pro or the M5 Pro, of course, one is your screen resolution. Second would be the fact that on the iPad Air you get a Face ID just like the A16 Bionic, but I've seen that the Touch ID, rather, my bad, the Touch ID on the iPad Air is way faster compared to the base level iPad. Now, second is the base storage level is a 128 gig. So if you're going to be happy with that, this is a great buy. But of course, on the Pro, it starts with the 256 gig. So that is something to watch out for. But overall, if you're a person who's just going to be scrolling and who's just going to be using it for parallel editing, in the sense, if you're working on a project at home and you need to be on the move and edit that video, I feel this is a fantastic purchase, because you can continue your work, come back and just attach it to the work that you've left back at home. So I'm not sure how many of you actually pick up an iPad for the camera, right? But it is an important aspect, I do understand, in case you're not able to reach your phone and you want to take a beautiful candid picture of your pet or something that you've seen on the road. But this camera quality actually does a decent job. This is upgraded from, it's an upgraded version from the A16, and this comes with a 12 MP camera, which is very crisp, very sharp. And it comes with center stage. So center stage is an amazing feature that I love across Apple products, because you need not do all the work. It does it for you, in the sense it follows where and which side you're moving to, right? So that makes it a lot more easier. And the people who I speak to have always told me that the image quality or the camera quality has been really nice. So these are other couple of things that I wanted to highlight on. And the last thing that I want to tell you guys is this particular case is from Amazon. This is not a sponsored video, but this is a really nice case suggested by my wife. So I picked up one for the other iPad too, because you have, like you can see, quite an amount of exposure of the tab rather than just the casing alone. So even if it does fall, it falls on these hinges, and you have a very convenient Touch ID spot. So this makes it feel a lot more thinner and a lot more easier and convenient to use. And obviously my MacBook is going to be the beast waiting at home. So I personally still feel that an iPad and a Mac are two different entities, in the sense, obviously what a Mac OS can do, an iPad OS can't, and vice versa. So if you ask me, if you have these both hand in hand, it's going to be a very big plus point. Or if you're going to be choosing only an iPad or only a Mac, it's going to be a great investment. But if you're going in for an iPad and a Mac, there are multiple features, like I said, when it comes to secondary screen continuity, handoffs, and a lot of other cool features that you can actually use. So that way, if you look at it, I was very clear that this is the reason I was buying it, and I didn't have to open the Mac for every single thing that I had to do. And yeah, I'm thoroughly happy with the fact that the iPad Air has been the most recent addition into my life. Well, WWDC is just 2 months away, as you all know. I'm really excited to see what iOS 2.7 and all the operating software 27 has in offer. Because, like I said, liquid glass on this is fantastic. It is super sharp, it is very bright, and well, overall, I am a very happy iPad Air M3 owner, and I'm so happy that this was the last baby to be added into the ecosystem. And boy, oh boy, it's been a week, but trust me, I've enjoyed every single minute that I've spent with the iPad Air M3 alongside my other Apple products. And now it's been added to my favorites. So if you've watched until here, thank you so much for all the support and the love that you guys have been showing me. We will meet up in the next video, and I will catch you very soon on that. Let's see what WWDC has to offer us in September, because I am super damn excited, guys. Cheers.